plastic surgery questions, and of course go over important plastic surgery topics. And today we're here at Pure Plastic Surgery, and we're actually in OR3 at Pure Plastic Surgery, and it's not quite set up yet. It's going to be set up a little bit later for our cases tomorrow. But the reason we are here is because I want to show you something very, very special. We have a brand new machine here, the latest cutting edge technology in terms of what we do here in the OR and in terms of skin tightening. Yes, not many surgeons have this in Florida. I think we are maybe like number 2 or number 3 in the entire state. And so, are you guys ready to be impressed? All right, here we go. The great unveiling of, ooh, yes, that's right, the Aeon device. And check this out, it's gonna be really, really cool. I'm gonna turn it on right here. I don't know if we can focus right into there, but as you can see, there you go, Pure Plastic Surgery, right? This is our very own Aeon device, made and tailored for us, okay? And so what is it? Why are we so excited about it? Because basically, this thing can do just about everything that I need for it to do for your liposculpture, BBL, total definer, high definition, all of those types of cases. So we're super excited about it. They basically built my very own R2-D2. I just like, if this thing could talk to me, that would be the best. It'd be like, you know? I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I now have my very own R2-D2 here, to which I can attach basically lightsabers, which is what I use for the surgery, okay? So what does it involve? All right, so it has, as you can see, it has the 2 consoles here. And so on the top, it has on the one side, just your kind of what we call your cautery, your electrocautery or Govee. And so we have that here in the one on this side here. And then on this side is where we have the actual J-Plasma or Renuvion, right? And that's the latest technology for skin tightening. It is awesome, it is fast, it is efficient, and it can tighten the skin up to 60%. That's higher than we've seen from any other device. You know, the Vaser by itself may be able to do about 10%, 10 to 15% actually. You know, liposuction on its own will do some, maybe another 5 or 10%. But when you add this, we can get it up to 60%, which is incredible. And so what do we have to do? Well, so here we crank up the power. And if we're doing like a bigger area, like the abdomen or back, we're going to crank it all the way up to 80%. If we're doing something kind of smaller and thinner, like the arms or the thighs, then we go down to 60%. Okay? It does work with a gas called the helium gas, which is here right now. It's red because I haven't turned it on and I don't want to waste the gas. But that's what it uses in order to create that plasma RF energy, which helps tighten up the skin. So super excited about that. And then down here, it's basically incorporated some of the devices that we were already using. So on this side here, where it says ultrasound, that's not ultrasound imaging, that's actually ultrasound energy, which is what? If you guys have followed me, you guys know what I've talked about. It's very similar to the Vaser device, okay? So it's essentially, it's got a Vaser kind of included in it. So it already has the Vaser, and then on this side is the power-assisted liposuction, similar to the micro-air that we use. So it's basically all in one device. It also has the suction, and it even has fluid warmers, guys, so you don't get too cold during the surgery. I mean, that is truly incredible. So we're super excited about it. We just had it delivered last week. We've already tried it out a couple times. It has worked fantastic. It's really going to provide, you know, that skin tightening. We can use it in the abdomen, the back, the arms, and the thighs. And it does so in a way where now maybe there may be more people where I can, you know, offer the liposculpture or the BBL and not necessarily go, you know, directly to that tummy tuck because we have a little bit of a stronger device. Now, having said that, if you have severe loose skin, if you have weak muscles or separated muscles, you're still going to be a tummy tuck candidate, right? So it does deserve an evaluation. I have to evaluate you, your photos, your videos, or in person, however we do it, and make the best recommendations for you specifically. But what it does mean is that maybe now the group of people that were kind of on the edge where they had moderate skin laxity with still good muscle tone and not separated muscles, maybe those people now can do the J-Plasma with this new device and not necessarily have to go for that tummy tuck. Okay, so yeah, super excited about this. You know, if you guys want to learn more about this, of course, go ahead and ask your questions now. You can always DM us later as well. Okay, and what else? We have a big announcement here today. Okay, so I wanted to let you guys know that moving forward, perhaps not every live, but very often, at least once or twice a month, we're going to be giving out prizes during my live, okay? We're going to have like, one of those spinning wheels where you can spin the wheel and see what you win. Well, those are people that watch my lives, that stay to the end, okay, are going to have the opportunity to win a prize, okay? And the prize is going to range, right? It's going to be on that spinning wheel. It can be anywhere from like huge discounts on surgery to like products like fajas, abali, things like that. So that's going to be moving forward. So I highly encourage you all to tune in every single Wednesday on Hump Day with Dr. Alex Earl for your chance to, of course, learn, to get all your questions answered. And then now we're going to throw in some little prizes for you as well. Okay? So talking about prizes, so what we did to kind of kick this off is that we had all the patients that booked with us last Friday, which was National Cellulite Day. Well, those patients that wanted to be included in the raffle, and by being included means that they were okay with me like telling you their name here, they were able to win a free cellulite treatment session with Ogly. That's right. So a free cellulite treatment session for all those patients that had booked surgery last Friday on National Cellulite Day. And so we have the names right here.
All right.
All right. We have the names right here. We're gonna shaky, 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 shaky. Okay, we're gonna shaky, 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 shaky to see who is the winner of a free permanent cellulite treatment with the Obli device. All right, let's be good. Let's go. Let's go. I don't want to look. 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 And let's see. One name's coming up to the top here. And here we go. So the big winner of a free cellulite treatment is Diana Rodriguez. Woo! Diana Rodriguez. Woo! All right, Diana, you have won a free cellulite treatment with the Obli device. That is the device we use to cut those bands that cause the dimples that are causing the cellulite, which means that we're going to be able to do it under local with little to no downtime, and those cellulite dimples will be gone pretty much forever. Okay, so super excited for her. Let's all give her a round of applause.
Yes.
All right, excellent, excellent. Okay, so that is the type of thing we're going to start doing moving forward. We're going to be giving out prizes. So I really recommend that you all stay tuned to every Hump Day on Wednesdays around 4:30 p.m. Okay, but so right now I am happy to then now go ahead and answer any questions that you may have. I can talk about the Aeon device, which we're super excited about, or anything else, plastic surgery head to toe.
All right, first question. You said the Aeon device has Vaser included in it. Is that different than the original Vaser you've been using? So,
right, they're not going to say that it's the exact same thing because each one of them has a little bit of their proprietary technology, but it's basically very, very similar. And so it uses the same type of energy, which is ultrasound type energy. And so yes, it's going to be very, very similar to your Vaser. And it's going to have different modes. So it has like a low power mode, which we'll probably rarely use. And then you have your medium mode and your high mode. So the medium mode is probably going to be the one that I'm going to use the most often because that's the one that's needed for fat transfer. So it does just enough to be able to emulsify the fat or knock off the fat cells from the surrounding tissues, but in a way where it keeps the fat cells intact and alive, and that's what we need. So that way I can remove more fat with less bleeding, less inflammation, and also better skin retraction, and at the same time have nice viable fat cells to be used for fat transfer to the buttock and hips.
Thank you. Doctor, I'm scheduled with Vaser at your office.
Yes.
Are we able to switch to this new device?
So if we're only doing the Vaser portion of it, like I said, like this one and the actual Vaser are going to be very, very similar. But if we decide that you need something a little extra, like a little extra boost, well, that's where the top part comes in. That's where the J plasma comes in. That's where it now uses that plasma RF energy to help with the skin tightening. So yeah, that's certainly a discussion that we can have, and we can do it at pre-op. And when I actually, when I examine you, before surgery, and we can make a final decision then.
Thank you. Let's see. What's the BMI for a skinny BBL, and how is it different from a regular one in the lipo sense? Are they still the same areas?
Right. Okay. So what's the difference between, say, your regular BBL and a skinny BBL, right? So really the difference is actually more on the patient side, not so much on the procedure side. So a skinny BBL means that we're doing a BBL on someone with a lower BMI, and typically that BMI is 24 or less. Okay. And so, and also, what does it mean? It means that we're really going for like an enhanced natural look. Like we're not really going for kind of those vixen types of looks, because these are patients that are already starting out thinner, they have less fat to work with, and they're looking for like more athletic shapes or kind of that Pilates shape or enhanced natural shape. So those are going to be the differences there. But in terms of the areas that are treated, it's the same areas. So we're going to be including that liposculpture 360, which means we're including the entire abdomen, the flanks, and the entire back. That's all going to be included there, and also the suprapubic or mons region if you need that as well. Okay. Now, any areas in both of them, whether it's regular or skinny, if you want to add additional areas, we can do that. But those are considered add-ons, such as like the chin, arms, or thighs.
Thank you. Which procedures do you specialize in, and how many have you done?
So I would probably say that my specialty, what I'm really known for throughout the U.S. and internationally, is the ultrasound guided safe BBL. Okay, so I started using ultrasound for BBLs back in 2019, and I've probably done the most ultrasound guided BBL procedures in the entire U.S. And you asked me how many I've done, which has been over 2,000 of these procedures. Okay, and so I'm a pioneer in this technique, and so what have I been doing? So I use the ultrasound imaging to actually see my cannula, which is the device that we use to place the fat, so I can see that cannula, make sure that I'm in that safe space, which is between the skin and the muscle. All right, and so that allows me to do this procedure safely, and I'm happy to say that I have never had a single incidence of like a fat embolism or death due to this technique.
Thank you. Hello, what is the latest combination or best method to take care of tummy tuck scars, and how long after surgery should I continue the routine?
That is a great question, and because that's something that a lot of people are concerned about, right? So probably I would say the number one reason why people want to kind of shy away from the tummy tuck, even though they may actually need it, is the scar. Okay, so what do you have to do with the scar? Well, number one, it's placement, right? You have to place the scar in a way that's going to be super easy to hide, and that's what I do here at Pure. So I place that tummy tuck scar nice and low in a nice gentle curve, so it's going to take the same curve as a bikini. And so it's going to be super easy to hide in that bikini, okay? And then number two, yeah, we got to make sure that we get the thinnest, flattest scar possible. So starting at 2 weeks after surgery, you're going to start using scar creams. I recommend a silicone-based scar cream, a silicone-based scar cream called Silogen, okay? So you're going to start using that twice a day for at least 3 months, okay? And then, we'll see how it goes. If at any point in time we feel like the scar is getting a little bit raised, or you may be developing a little bit of a keloid, sometimes we inject the scars with Kenalog, which is a steroid that helps keep the scars nice and thin. So that's also a possibility.
Hi, doctor. I'm getting Vaser soon. If I'm close to the BMI limit for you, will I still look snatched?
So let's back it up a bit. What is my max BMI? So my max BMI is 30. All right, so if you're 30 or below, then you're a candidate for me. And if you're around 30, yes, certainly, with the liposculpture and the Vaser, you're gonna look snatched, okay? And so in terms of like, do we need any additional modalities like J-plasma or anything else? That's really gonna depend on the quality of your skin. Okay, and quality of the skin has many factors that can affect it. For example, well, one of them you can't do anything about, which is genetics, of course. However, other things you can do something about. For example, smokers have poor quality skin. And if you had one or multiple pregnancies, that can affect the quality of the skin. And then, of course, weight loss, specifically massive weight loss, can affect the quality of the skin as well.
If I'm on GLP-1, do I need to stop taking it a certain amount of time before my surgery?
Yes, you definitely do. Okay, so how does the GLP-1s, how do they work from the point of view of people losing weight, right? Of course, these drugs have been around for a long time for diabetics, and we can have that discussion at another time, but how do they work for losing weight? Well, what they do is that they slow down the stomach emptying or gastric emptying, okay? And so you get full faster, and you have that full feeling, and so you don't want to eat as much, and you eat less because you get full faster, right? But that becomes an issue when we're talking about general anesthesia, right? Because when you have general anesthesia, we want that stomach to be empty. And so you do have to stop these medications, ideally 4 weeks before your surgery. The bare minimum is 2 weeks before surgery.
Thank you. All right, let's see if you can answer this one.
Okay.
Is this
You got me a
new?
challenge?
Yeah, we'll see. Is this new machine's Vaser, is it better than the previous Vaser?
So I think the Vaser portion of it is very, very similar, so I don't think that it's better or worse. I think that part is very, very similar. I think what is better than even its own counterpart from before is the J plasma portion of it. So, now we can get even more skin retraction with that. Like I said, up to 60%. And then what makes it really, really cool is that it's all like one unit and one device, right? So everything is right here. We don't have to have like multiple different units and devices and things that we kind of stack together. It's all in one tower. And so basically this encompasses pretty much everything that I would potentially need, because it has my Bovie, it has my J plasma, it has my Vaser-like device, and it has also the power cystic liposuction. So obviously it has suction, it has infiltration, it even has the warmers as well.
I got a skinny BBL almost 5 months ago. How soon can I get another one? I would love to have a consultation with you, Dr. Earl.
Okay, yes. Well, thank you so much. I would love to see you in consultation. But to answer your question, how soon? You typically don't want to kind of repeat the same procedure before 9 months. So you got to wait at least 9 months, maybe ideally a year, okay? So if you had a skinny BBL and you want around 2 skinny BBL, well, let's wait at least 9 months to a year, okay? However, if you want to, start the process, so we can start, basically, doing the evaluation and everything else, we can start that now. I mean, knowing that we're not going to schedule till you're about at least 9 months out from that first procedure.
Do you do procedures on individuals that are overweight or obese?
So I do have a max BMI limit, okay? So my max BMI limit is 30. So if your BMI is higher than 30, then you're not quite ready to have your procedure yet. We can help you get there, okay? And we can prescribe GLP-1s and other things, okay, to try to help you to that BMI. But no, I will not be doing a completely elective procedure here at Pure Plastic Surgery if you have a BMI that is higher than 30.
What's the difference between HD lipo and ab etching?
Great question. So those are actually both very, very similar. Okay, so the only difference is that ab etching is it's more narrowed down. It's specific. So ab etching means that we're basically just etching out the abs, which are these muscles right here. Okay, so for a woman, we typically do like more of like a feminine etch, where we kind of etch out the line in the middle and the 2 lines on the sides, and create like a feminine athletic look. And then for men, we are doing like the full 6-pack, okay? Now, HD lipo, it's like ab etching plus. So we do ab etching with HD lipo, but we're also creating high definition for other muscles as well. Not just the ab muscles. We are also going to be defining the obliques, for example. We can define, for example, we're doing HD on a male patient. We can define their biceps, their chest, their deltoids, their triceps, okay? So we can define multiple other muscles. And so that is the difference there. For women, also, of course, we can define the abs, we can define the obliques, which are these kind of abdominal muscles down here. And then if they want further definition, for example, in the arms, we can do that in a very feminine, athletic way as well.
What is J plasma?
Great question. So I've been saying that a lot, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Okay. So J plasma is a technology that is being used for skin tightening. Okay, it's actually FDA approved for that indication. So it's FDA approved for skin tightening. And so what type of energy does it use? So it uses a combination of RF or radio frequency with plasma that is derived from heating up helium gas. Okay? So we have the plasma and the RF energy combined, and that basically is able to increase the heat in a very controlled way, which then helps create this kind of inflammatory reaction underneath the skin, which then helps the skin contract, basically, okay? And that's the way that it works, so its indication is for helping skin retraction.
Okay, we just have a comment from Gene. I got surgery here, and the staff is nice, and I felt comfortable.
All right, Gene. Well, thank you so much for hopping in. And remember, we're going to be doing prizes, okay? So make sure you stay tuned for all the further lives as well. But we appreciate you very, very much.
Next question. For how long after BBL do I need to stay at a recovery house?
Okay, so a lot of our patients, actually most of our patients are coming from out of town, meaning they're not from Miami. They're either from Florida, further upstate, or different states. We've actually had patients from, I think, 49 of the 50 states come to us, and of course international as well. We love our patients from Canada and the UK. So how long do you have to stay here? Well, so the minimum stay is going to be 5 days after surgery. Okay, so in total it's probably going to be about a week, because you're going to have your pre-op day, which is the day before surgery, then you have surgery day, and then you have 5 days after that. Okay, so no one should be leaving before that. Okay, actually if you leave before the 5 days, it's considered leaving against medical advice. But you stay here for the 5 days, and then after that, if you're recovering well, everything looks good, you're able to go home.
Can I'm not sure if I'm saying this right,
Okay.
Can a hiatus hernia affect lipo?
No, so it's a hiatal hernia.
Hiatal.
All right, yeah, all right. We've got some things to teach you still.
Yes.
So it's a hiatal hernia, and so a hiatal hernia does not affect lipo because those hernias are more internal hernias, so they're deeper hernias. So that is a hernia where like the top of the stomach, not the belly, the actual organ, the stomach is kind of pushing through the hole in the diaphragm, towards the esophagus. So that was a super technical, I don't know if you guys follow that, but the whole point is that it's all much, much deeper to where we do liposuction, okay? Remember, liposuction is done on a fairly superficial level. It's called the subcutaneous fat level, which means it's the fat that is between the skin and the muscular layer, okay? That is where the liposuction is being performed. It is not down where the organs are, so it's certainly not where the stomach or the esophagus is, and therefore hiatal hernias have nothing to do with liposuction.
Doctor, where are you located?
So we are in Miami, Florida, all right?
How far out from surgery should you stop vaping?
So you want to have 0 nicotine in your system, okay? And so the way to do that is you have to stop anything that has nicotine, including vaping, for 30 days before surgery, okay? But you got to stop the vapes, the gum, the patches, everything. Anything that has nicotine in it has to be stopped at least 30 days before surgery.
How long after a C-section can I get a mommy makeover?
All right, great question. So the soonest will probably be about 6 months, okay? And that is assuming that you're not breastfeeding. So, because the mommy makeover includes a breast procedure, right? And so for the breast portion of the procedure, you have to have stopped breastfeeding for at least 6 months, okay? So the absolute soonest would be 6 months, assuming you didn't breastfeed. If you did some breastfeeding, then you have to stop the breastfeeding and then wait 6 months.
Does J plasma help with a tummy tuck, and how do you manage pain after a tummy tuck?
No, it's kind of one or the other, right? If you're a candidate for a tummy tuck, you get your tummy tuck. If you're a candidate for the J plasma, you get the J plasma. Because the tummy tuck is the ultimate skin tightening procedure, right? You don't need to add further skin tightening to that. So that's why I love tummy tucks. I mean, I think if you have the loose skin, it's all loose, it's wrinkly, it's overhanging, you had multiple pregnancies, you had massive weight loss, that is going to be the procedure for you. Not only that, but we can fix the muscles, we can strengthen the muscles, we can bring them in closer, do that muscle repair for you, fix that muscle separation or diastasis, as some people know that's the name of it, okay? And so, if you're doing tummy tuck, you don't need further skin tightening, you don't need J plasma, okay? Pain, great question. We actually have something that virtually takes away pretty much almost all of the pain from the tummy tuck. And that is a shot called Exparel. So this is a shot that we can put along our muscle repair on the inside and also along the incisions, and that's going to provide you pain relief for up to 72 hours. And so for my patient, I recommend this for all of my tummy tuck patients, so my mommy makeovers and tummy tucks. And when we use the Exparel, a lot of our patients end up taking 0 to maybe 1 or 2 of the narcotic pills, the Percocet, and then they just switch over to Tylenol or ibuprofen. I mean, it's incredible. So I highly, highly recommend that. If you're gonna have a tummy tuck, make sure you get some Expro.
All right, we have a few minutes left before you have to go, and a lot of questions. So.
Oh boy, are we gonna have to do rapid
Let's
fire?
fire
Am I
off.
talking too
Yes.
much? Okay.
No, you're
There we
good.
go.
Would you recommend a BBL lipo over tummy tuck first with a C-section shelf?
No. Okay. And I know, some of you have been following me for a long, long time, so that you know the answer. Some of you just started following me more recently. But I always recommend doing the tummy tuck first. Okay? Always do your tummy tuck first. Get that skin tightened up, get those muscles repaired, and then come back 3 months later or after for your LipoSculptor 360 and BBL. Okay? And you're gonna have a much better, smoother result when you do that.
Thank you. How long after gallbladder removal do you recommend for me to reach out to your team for a quote?
Oh, typically you're very well recovered from a gallbladder removal, and I'm assuming, well, first of all, I'm assuming it was done laparoscopically, so like the tiny incisions, not the big incision. So nowadays, over 90% of them are done that way. So for laparoscopic gallbladder removal, by 2 months, you're pretty much fully healed, and we can move on to the next step.
Is an implant possible after radiation therapy?
So, I mean, okay, the answer is yes, but probably not with me, like not in this kind of setting, right? If you had radiation, that probably means, of course, that you had breast cancer, and so you are then a candidate for breast reconstruction, which means that you're a candidate for doing it under, with insurance. I don't take any insurance here, so what I would recommend is that you see a reconstructive plastic surgeon that takes your insurance to use the implant, give you symmetry and everything else after your radiation treatments.
How long after my tummy tuck do I need to keep wearing the compression garment?
So you're going to be wearing it for the first 6 weeks, night and day, and then an additional 6 weeks, 12 hours a day. All right? So in total, it's going to be about 12 weeks or 3 months, but the first 6 weeks are a little bit more intense, night and day, and then after the second 6 weeks are going to be 12 hours a day.
All right, let's see if I can say this correctly. Do I need to stop tirzepatide before surgery?
Yeah, so that is one of the GLP-1s. Okay, so tirzepatide, or Manjaro is also called. Yes, ideally we stop at 4 weeks before surgery. That would be the most ideal. I mean, the soonest you gotta stop is 2 weeks before, but ideally 4 weeks before surgery.
What if I never breastfed, but I'm still leaking by the time of my surgery?
Okay, so that is a good question. So, I mean, ideally, if you never breastfed, then technically you're okay, right? It's okay to go ahead and do the surgery. Because sometimes there can be some leaking there still. And if you go to either your GYN or your primary care doctor, sometimes they can prescribe certain medication that can help that stop, okay? And so try to do that first, see if you're a candidate for that. And if you are, start with that, kind of dry things out, and then do your breast surgery.
All right, very sorry we couldn't get to all the questions. This is the last one.
Okay.
What is the best way to prevent embolism after surgery?
That is the last question, but it's a great question. Okay, so one of the things that we worry about the most is the potential for blood clots, right? And so blood clots, they typically start in the back of the leg. That's called a DVT, or a deep vein thrombosis. Or they can be in the lungs, and that's called a PE, or pulmonary embolism. Okay, so how do we prevent this? So it depends on the patient's BMI and what procedure they're getting. If you're a little bit higher on the BMI scale, if you're higher on the BMI scale, or you're having a lengthy procedure, then we add an injection. This injection is called Lovenox. And so it's a once-a-day injection that you take from anywhere between 7 to 14 days after surgery. Okay? Now, for kind of a regular run-of-the-mill surgeries that we do every single day, what we do is we give all of our patients a compression device. So it's a device that goes around the leg there, and it helps maintain the circulation moving, and it decreases your risk of blood clots. I give this to all of my patients, and they use it for the first 2 weeks. They use it certainly whenever they're sleeping or resting, and for all my out-of-town patients, they use it on the plane when they fly back home. And that's going to protect them just as well as the injections, without the potential side risk of bleeding. And then last but not least, you can't just be laying around all day, right? surgery is an active sport, okay? I need you to be up and walking. So my expectation is that all of my patients are up and walking at least 10 minutes every hour while awake.
Thank you very much.
Okay, all right, well that wraps it up for today. We're super excited about this. And then remember, we're gonna be doing the jackpots, spin the wheels, prizes for everyone. So make sure you tune in for Hump Day with Dr. Alex Searle. Catch you all next week.